final thing that we're going to talk about is that NetEase is acquiring Quantic Dream. This is David Cage's studio, the ones that did Beyond Two Souls, Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain. We've talked about Quantic Dream before. They've had a lot of issues. Like, I think now what they've been trying to staff up with the new Star Wars game, but they're having such a hard time finding staff that they have since delayed the game to be released in 2027. Like that's how bad the staffing is right now, and there's a reason why they're having a hard time staffing. They have a terrible reputation, and especially David Cage, who has had a reputation of not only enforcing, I would say, a bad working environment, but perpetuating those who continue to make that environment bad as well. So there's definitely a culture problem there that has been well reported. Also, and this is just me, Quantic Dream, they make they do good sales, but they're still kind of a niche product. And the problem with the type of product that they make is that it takes one game for someone to then say, yeah, I'll hold off on buying the next one until I hear good things. Especially with that style of game, when it's story and dialogue driven. And I'll be honest myself, I have tried all of their games, except for Detroit. I've tried all of their games, and the dialogue rips me right out of it. Like, I thought... I could not understand why so many people loved Heavy Rain. And when I played that, I was like, this is awful. What is this? But, yeah, it's got its fan base, but it's known to have... The writing of these games are known to not be so hot. And I don't think you can do that with the Star Wars property. You might get some good sales, but once people start realizing, oh, this is not such a hot game, or this is kind of bad in the writing sense, and when half of your game is writing, you're going to have a problem when it comes to the Star Wars property. Zero, go ahead. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting purchase for NetEase, especially considering just Quantic Dream has had a bit of a troubling set of recent years, especially just when some of the cultural problems of the studio came out. I think one of the weird ones was just Elliot Page's nudes were basically found on like a server that had David Cage's personal stash and stuff like that. Yep. Just really weird and creepy shit.
No, and not only that, it was in the code. So modders could then take that out, and you can put that in the or you can just take it out. And weren't there videos of showing those nudes on YouTube for a small period of time as well? Like, yeah, like it. Man, and there's more to it than that with David Cage. David Cage is also known to be quite, how do I put this, stuck up, I guess, or
he's a bit pretentious.
I guess pretentious is the right word,
because I mean he's come off basically just claiming that pretty much all of his stuff is just like the best in the world. Nothing can surpass what he makes or whatever.
Right. So then it fits. Yeah, he has a healthy ego on him, and it trickles down to his staff too. So man, this is a risky acquisition for NetEase, to be absolutely honest. And they're getting the studio. They're not getting any properties that are worth mining. Like, no one's clamoring for a Beyond Two Souls sequel or a free-to-play Heavy Rain. No one's wanting that at all. They just hear Quantic Dream, and let's also be honest too. Part of Quantic Dream And what makes people interested in their games is how they look. Because they are, each time they make a new game, they are pretty damn well good looking. They really are. Honestly, like, this is a risky purchase. This could end up basically not cratering Netease, but basically turning into a purchase with nothing behind it in, I would say, maybe 5 years' time, where maybe they still can't staff up and Disney says, okay, we're pulling the Star Wars brand out. You guys can't do this. Let's just take it out. And because from what I've read about Disney, they're not patient really at all, unless it's really,
hell no.
yeah, unless it's really, really, really worth their time. Like Star Wars 1313, okay? That had delays like crazy, if I recall correctly. And instead of saying, well, we have these good developers and what they're doing is exciting, so let's give us more time, they said, nope, we're taking it elsewhere. Bye. And that was it. It was done. So I see this, honestly, unless they do something drastically different in Quantic Dream, I see this being a purchase where they get nothing out of it.
I would be inclined to agree. It may even become a money pit of a problem for Netease too, that they'll end up just dumping truckloads of money and saying, what the hell do you need to actually fucking function? And then just getting frustrated after a number of years.
Yeah. And I would also say this as well, to those of you who I guess are what you deridedly call Sony ponies. I think this pretty much says this is the end of Quantic Dream making exclusives to PlayStation. These are multi-platform games now. So I don't see NetEase essentially acquiring a studio and saying, yeah, only Sony can use them. No, I think if they're going to put money into this studio, which I would assume they would have to in order to get this running, they're going to want to put this in as much places as possible, which also might denigrate the quality of the graphics as well. Because if they can, because another thing about these companies, if you can do it more efficiently, that's what they want. They don't care about artistic perfection. They care about getting that product, putting the product out, selling the product, making another product. That's what they care about. They're not going to want to hear that we need another 2 years because the facial expressions when it comes to the eyes of the characters aren't what the standards to what David Cage wants. They're not going to put up with that shit. They're going to say, no, release the game. So I don't see this being such a good acquisition. So I think this is going to be, I think I said already, in 5 years' time, this will be one where we'll look at that and go, oh, wow, Quantic Dream is not doing anything anymore because no one's there, or they can't release anything, or David Cage is not happy with upper management. Like, I could definitely see that happening.
Yeah, and a clash with upper management, that's definitely a scenario I could see, and I can see just David Cage making a huge stink about it to the press.
Yeah.
Count on it.
And you know what the press will do? Nothing, because they don't like David Cage either. So, yep, he's that'll be interesting.